Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you so much for joining me. Well, I have a whole bunch of dies here. They are from Simon Says Stamp, part of their December release. We're going to create a couple of projects using two of them, but I do want to share with you some new items over at the shop. This here is called the Delicate Branch. I love dies like this because they're great for accent pieces, great for focal points, and great for backgrounds. Usually, the die itself is indexed on the front of the Simon envelope, so you know exactly what size it is. This is an A2 size card base. I went ahead and die cut out the Delicate Branch to show you what it looked like. It's so pretty. There is etched detail on those leaves, and I'll be creating a card with this later on in the month. So stay tuned for that one, but I did want to share it with you, part of the December release. Now I also want to share with you a brand new foil and cut die set. This is from Simon. I'm going to open it up and show you what it looks like. It's pretty neat. It is one foil plate, and it'll die cut out two florals and then two rosebuds and then one leaf. But when you foil, you will foil on one piece of cardstock with one of the foil, the hot foil plates. You see here, it's all combined. The neat thing about that is it's pretty fabulous because the die that it comes with is one die also, and it will die cut out all those images that you foiled on one piece of cardstock. It just makes it really easy for foiling, for die cutting, and for mass producing. So I thought that was pretty neat. And these are beautiful florals. I think this is going to be beautiful for Valentine's Day. So I wanted to share that with you. This is called the Sketched Rosebud Bundle. It's a foil and cut die set from Simon. So that is new to the shop. There's also a die that says It's Your Birthday, and it is a two-piece die set. It'll cut out the shadow or the outline of the sentiment that says It's Your Birthday. I'll be creating a birthday card later on with this also, but I did die cut it out. I wanted to show you what it looked like. The size is like perfect for all different sizes of cards. Slim lines, your standard note cards, so it's a nice birthday die set. I want to put this back and then share with you another die that's brand new. This next die is called the Etched Magnolia Blossom. Now this is really pretty. I'm not going to die cut it out. It is a layering die, but I wanted to open the package to show you because since it is a layering, Simon included a magnet in the envelope. I thought that was genius because you don't lose any of your parts, and it's great for storage. The flower itself is a good size too. So that is super pretty. We'll put that back. That's called the Etched Magnolia Blossom. And then I have two more to share with you, and these two we're going to create with today. This beautiful butterfly is called the Stylized Butterfly. It's a beautiful size. The body of the butterfly is separate, and then the wings are separate too. So I love that that is, that's just a nice option when you want to make your butterfly flutter wings a little wonky. You could if you wanted to. But these are very delicate wings, and I like that the body is separate too. So that is the Stylized Butterfly. Now I want to share with you this pretty hexagon. This is called the Magnetic Medallion. Now this is a neat die. I love hexagons. They're six-sided, but I die cut it out here with some teal cardstock. But the nice thing is with the hexagon, since they're six sides, what you can do is, I'm going to actually die cut it out with white cardstock too. This way I can exactly show you what you could do with it. Now if you layer two together, you can get dimension. You can see here. But if you turn it to one side, you can add some detail with a different colored cardstock behind it. You can see the white peeking through. Kind of looks like a snowflake effect, but it's really pretty. So we'll be using this in our project right now. We are going to start off by grabbing some, I'm going to use some Ulta New adhesive sheets and some teal colored cardstock. Since this is a very intricate die, I'm going to die cut out two with the teal colored cardstock and the adhesive behind it. That way I don't have to fuss with glue or tape runner. I can just remove the release paper, and it makes it easy for layering. While I'm die cutting also, I'm going to take some white cardstock. We're going to trim down a panel that measures 4 inches by 5 1/4. This is like my go-to panel size because I like that border on my card base. But I'm going to take that hexagon, I should call it by name, it's the magnetic medallion, and I'm going to put this, I'm going to create a window basically in that white cardstock. I'm not going to use the white medallion, but I am going to use the window on this panel. So I'm going to run everything through my die cutting machine, zoom in, and we're going to create a shaker. And it's going to be a real simple card, but it really turned out pretty. And I wanted to share with you how easy it is to do a shaker with dies like this. First, we're going to go ahead and grab some acetate. The acetate is going to be a little bit larger than that window. We're going to add some adhesive behind our panel and then go ahead and add our acetate sheet. If you guys wanted to go ahead and use the plastic packaging from stamp sets, you could do that versus throwing them out. Now once we have acetate adhered, I'm going to go ahead and remove the release paper off of the back of my medallion here, and we'll place this in the window. I take that back. We're going to layer, but we got to make sure it's the right side. We're going to layer 2 of these together. If you want to go 3 or 4 and layer them together, you can add a lot of dimension to your card. But I think 2 is the perfect amount for the top of my window, which we're going to put on right now. And we'll just lay this on top of our window, and then our window is good to go. It's super pretty. Okay, I am going to flip over my panel and we're going to add a foam adhesive behind it eventually, but I do want a back side that's kind of has a little color to it. So I have that same teal colored cardstock, and I'm actually going to take the white medallion, put it on that cardstock and trim around it with my scissors. It doesn't have to be perfect. I like to do this because I'm going to do a little shading on the edges of this cardstock. So if I have it the shape of the hexagon, I can actually create kind of more of a circle with my oxide inks. I have peacock feathers here, and that's what we're going to start off with. We're just going to go around the edges using our blending brush. I love this for backgrounds because it creates almost like a glow on your cards, a glowing effect. Once I have my peacock feathers adhered, I'm going to bring in black soot, and I better bring in some post-it note tape for my fingers. They're getting inkied up already. Now we're going to go around the edges with black soot, and it creates kind of like a glowy halo effect, and I think that's going to be perfect behind our window. Add a little accent along the edges of the hexagon with that black, but also it's going to enhance whatever's on the inside of my shaker window. Let's go ahead and put this behind the window and see how it looks. You can see that halo effect. Actually, the lighting is making it really trippy. Okay, you know what? I think I need to bring in the peacock feathers and the black soot a little bit more. So I'm going to do a little bit of a redo, just tightening up the center of the cardstock here. That way you can really see it behind the window. And I think this is much better. I'm going to go ahead and clean off my work surface. And now, like I said, I went ahead and added foam adhesive behind my window. I'm going to add some gems. I just went through my stash and found some clear gems. These are on the small side, and I'm going to fill it up pretty full. I did only put 1 layer of adhesive behind my window. I like to do this if it's not going to shake too much, or if I use these kind of gems because they're on the tiny side. And so that's still going to shake. It's just not going to shake as much if you were to use sequins, let's say. I'm going to go ahead and find the center of my panel, kind of eyeball it by putting it on the back of my card base or my card panel, and then we'll go ahead and remove the rest of the release paper. For my card base, I'm going to use that same teal colored cardstock. I just created a card base with it, and then this is going to go in the center. You can see how clean and simple it looks, and the sparkly gems in there just make it really elegant. I love that. Since we do kind of have a real simple, elegant card, I'm not going to stamp any sentiments. I'm going to bring in a reverse sentiment strip from the Encouragement sentiment strip pack from Simon Says Stamp. This one says you're a limited edition. And then lastly, I'm going to take the largest gems that I had put on the inside of my shaker. There's some areas of this hexagon where you can add some gems. So I just basically went around the edges adding some gems, and I just love the way this turned out. That is my project number 1. Now for project number 2, it's just as easy. I have a panel that I created using that same teal cardstock, and this measures 4 1/4, 3 3/4 by 5 inches. I just trimmed down some 1/2 inch strips of some Gina K masking paper, Masking Magic. This way we can go along the edges of this panel. I wanted the edges of this panel to stay that teal colored along with the middle. We're basically going to ink blend the same way we did with card 1 for a background, but although this is going to be prominent in front of the card base. Once we have our masking paper adhered to the edges, we're going to bring in those same inks, starting off with peacock feathers. We're going to go around the edges. And then after we go around the edges with the peacock feathers, again we'll use the black soot and kind of create a halo effect. Since this is square, we're going to kind of keep that square shape with the black. Once that was done, we're going to go ahead and remove the release paper. Actually, it's not release paper, this is masking paper. And I love the way this turned out. It looks dimensional, but there's only one layer, and that's extra nice, especially for mailing. I'm going to go ahead and take this panel. I am going to add a piece of foam behind it. It's adhesive backed foam. And then we are going to bring in a card base. I'm going to create a card base with some darker teal colored cardstock. I'm going to go ahead and bring in my scoreboard and the score at 5.5 inches to create my card base. And I think the teals just are the theme today. Pretty easy cards, guys. I'm going to go ahead and remove the release paper off of my panel, put this on my card base, and I have about 1/4 inch border. It's going to make my butterfly stand out, which we already die cut out. Lovely. Okay, we are going to bring in our butterfly, and I'm going to die cut out 3 white bodies, and then I did die cut out 1 body with that same teal colored cardstock. We're going to start off by adhering all of the bodies together. I did this, you could skip this step and just put a piece of foam adhesive behind it, but it's a narrow area. So I thought maybe stacking 3 or 4 of these together would create a little bit of dimension for the butterfly body. So we're just stacking all 3 of the white one, and then I'm going to put the teal one right on top. I think we're going to do a little shading. I'm just using the ink that's left over from my black soot and just add a little, turning it a little smoky color. And then we'll add that to the very top. Okay, after we have this done, we're going to go ahead and glue, or actually I'm going to use my tape. I'm going to use my tape runner to go over the back of my butterfly body. I chose tape runner because it doesn't leave a residue on my background panel, and I can reposition it because I want to make sure that my butterfly is centered in that rectangle that we created with the oxide inks, and it looks like I have to lower it just a little bit. Now as I'm looking at it, I'm not fond of the blue butterfly body, so I'm going to die cut it out with white cardstock and then just go over the top. So we have a lot of dimensions on that, on that, but it's just going to add extra little detail. Once we centered it, I can go ahead and add my wings. I'm just adding a little dots of glue at the very base of the wing and putting that on my panel here. And then I have a little open area on the bottom for my sentiment, which we're going to use the reverse encouragement sentiments for this one also. For this card, I'm going to trim down one that says, life may be tough, darling, but so are you. I love that sentiment. I love that a lot. I say that to my girls often, and I just think this is a very encouraging card. I just popped that up and put that underneath the butterfly. Now I am going to add a little sparkle to this butterfly. I think it looks a little plain Jane. So I'm bringing in some of my stickles. This is diamond stickles. It's real pretty goldy iridescent glitter, and I think it's the perfect touch to go over those wings to keep it delicate, and also the butterfly body. Now another option as I do this, you guys, would be to take some white glitter cardstock and die cut out your butterfly wings with that. Then you can just skip the stickles. But I don't mind adding the stickles. I think it looks really pretty. But those are my two pretty easy projects today, using a couple of new items from the Simon Says Stamp Shop, part of their Diecember release. I'll be creating a couple more later on in the month, and I hope you can join me for that. And I hope you can check out the brand new Diecember release. Pretty fabulous. Have a great day. We will see you again soon, guys. Bye-bye.